Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how to make an off-shoulder princess dart pattern. Let's do this. To start this pattern, you will need a basic bodice pattern, and I have a tutorial on how to draft a basic bodice pattern. Now, in order to avoid confusions, I will go over it again. Now, mark your shoulder to shoulder measurements plus ½ inch. Now, take 1 inch downwards for shoulder slant. Now, I am taking 3 inch in width and 3 inch in length for neckline. Now from the shoulder slant I mark downwards, I will take my 8.5 for my armhole measurement. Now I am just connecting the slant to my neckline. Now I am taking my bust measurement divided by 4, and I am taking my shoulder to waist measurement, which is 17. On there I will take my waist measurement also divided by 4. Now I am taking my shoulder to nipple measurement. Next measurement I will take is my shoulder to under bust measurement. Now this is how you take your measurement. Your shoulder to your nipple is your shoulder to nipple measurement, and shoulder to under bust, this is how you take it. Now those are the things I marked right there on my pattern. Now start marking your nipple to nipple measurements. Mine is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. Now I will just connect the lines. Now on my bust point measurement, I will go down by 1 inch. For my under bust line, I will take 1¼ inch on both sides. On my waist measurement, I will take ½ inch on both sides. Now I will just connect the lines for my darts. Now on your bust points, go upwards by 1 inch. Now on your shoulder slant, come downwards by 2½ inch. On your bust measurements, go upwards by 1 inch. You can play with it, you can go lower than 1 inch. Just know that this is where your bust line is, and you can use whatever measurement you decide depending on how low you want your neckline to be. Now I am just connecting the line. Now I will go down by 3 inch depending on how you want your sleeve to be. Now just connect the line. Now I would add seam allowance, 1 inch seam allowance to my bust measurements. Now I would connect that to my sleeve. Now take the circumference of your arm. Now take the circumference of your sleeve, that is where you want your sleeve to sit. Now I am marking 4 because my sleeve circumference is 14 divided by 4 is 3.5 inch plus ½ inch for seam allowance, that is 4 inch. That is why I marked 4 inch for the sleeve circumference. Now I will just connect the lines. Now remember, we added 1 inch dart right there on our waistline. We will return it there on our waistline and also add 1 inch for seam allowance. Now I will just connect the lines and cut this pattern out. Now cut from the waist if you want to add your upper bodice to a lower bodice, but I would cut from the waist because I want to make this into a crop top. So now I will go on and cut out the rest. Now for the back pattern, I have already gone and cut out my zipper allowance, and I am just marking my neckline. These necklines are not really necessary, but it's just the procedure for making your basic bodies. So in order to avoid confusions, I am just taking these measurements. Now I just connected my shoulder slants and I am marking my armhole measurement just like we did for the front. Now I just took my waist measurements and I am just connecting the lines. Now next thing we will do is to take our waist measurement divided by 4. Now start marking 4 inches. That is your nipple to nipple measurements, just like we did for the front, and I will just connect the lines. Now start taking 1/2 inch on both sides of your waist. This is going to serve as the dart, and also connect the lines. Now next thing you will do is to go down on your slanted shoulder by 2.5 inch, just like we did for the front, and also go down by 3 inch. Now I will take 4 inch, just like we did for the front, for the extension of our sleeve. Now just connect the lines and also start marking 1 inch for your slim allowances and connect the lines. And also I took 6 inch downwards. That is how low I want my back to be. You can go lower, you can go higher. It's your choice. Now I just return the 1 inch for my darts and also 1 inch for seam allowance, and I would connect the lines. Now it's time to cut out. When cutting this sharp part, it's best to curve your hand a little so as to have a little curve and not to have a sharp edge. So now I will just go on and cut the rest of my pattern. Also cut out the zip parts. Now we have 2 pieces for our back, and we are not done. We are going to make a little modification on our pattern. Now from your armhole line, take 2 inches. Now add 1/2 inch for seam allowance. Now next thing you will do is to connect the line downwards. This is necessary because it will give you a better grip on your arm. Now I will just cut that slant out. Now I will do the same thing for my back. On my armhole line, I will place 2.5 inch. Now I would also connect the slants. Now I would cut this out. Now it's time to cut out on our fabric. Now I have gone and cut my front pattern on my fabric, and as you can see, I added 1/2 inch at the top and 1/2 inch at the darted parts and also at the bottom. Now on my other front parts, I added 1/2 inch at the bottom and 1/2 inch on the dart parts. And I also cut out my lining and interfacing, and also my lining for the back. And as you can see, for the back piece, I added seam allowance at the top and also at the bottom. Now I am just creating notches on my dart area and also my bust line. This will help me know where to place my darts on my fabric. Now I will just connect every necessary lines. Now also make sure you do the same for the other part of your back. Now I am also notching my zip seam allowance, and I would connect the lines and also do the same for the other piece. Now I will just go on and iron my interfacing on my front fabrics. Now fold your pattern in half and notch the armhole line. This way it appears on the other side. Now I will place this on my fabric and notch on both sides. This way I would know where my armhole stops and where my sleeve starts. Now place this on the notch. Make sure it's on the notch and start sewing and joining the two front pieces by 1/2 inch. Just sew all the way like this and turn, and do the same for this other piece. Now once you're done doing that, you should have this. Now moving on, get your linings, and we're going to make the same sewing on your lining. Join by 1/2 inch. Please, if you are using a normal zipper that doesn't open at the bottom, please do not add your zipper now. I am using the zipper that opens at the bottom, so I am going to add my zipper now. Now next thing you will do is place your front and your back good size together and sew the sleeves by 1/2 inch. Now do the same for the lining piece. Place the front and the back good size together and sew the sleeves by 1/2 inch. Now once you're done joining the both, we're going to be joining the necklines of the lining and the necklines of the fabric. Now we're going to join the necklines by 1/2 inch. All the way around, and also join the sleeves by 1/2 inches. We're going to sew by 1/2 inch all the way from the front to the back. Now once you're done doing that, you're going to create notches all around the neckline and also notches all around the sleeve. Now on the cuffed part of your neckline, make a notch straight up like this and make side notches like this. This will help to give you a neater edge when you turn your fabric over. Now next thing I will do is to open up my zipper and I will start turning my fabric inside out. Now this is the part where I said if you are using a normal zipper, you shouldn't join your backs together yet, so as to enable you turn out your fabric inside out. If you had used a normal zipper that doesn't open at the bottom, you won't be able to turn out your fabric because you need your backs to be in separate piece so as to do this turnout. Now place your back piece over like this and open up your fabric and lining, so the lining will meet the lining of the front will meet the lining of the back, and fabric of the front will meet the fabric of the back, and join by 1 inch. Do the same for the other side. Now once you're done doing that, turn your lining over in such a way that it would meet the seam allowance of the zipper, and we will join the edges together. And I would go on and sew this and join this two pieces together, and I will do the same for the other side. Now for the lower bodice, you can go on and join it to a lower bodice, or you can weave it, or you can go on and fold it over like this and sew.
Now this is the end of this tutorial, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I would see you in my next video.